Lost my mind, now I'm feeling so fine, cause I finally realized I don't need you. I'm feeling sublime, and you're watching me shine, and you realize it's time I don't need you. Now
withstand life and the challenges that we face. What do you think about that as far as like how people can best relate to strong friends or
Well, being a strong friend and just going through what I went through over the last couple of years, I realized why I love my friends in North Carolina so much. They were my vulnerable space. Once again, me and you, we spoke about before I came back, and I told you what I foresaw, and that's exactly what happened. But I knew what the environment was going to be that I was walking into. And not to, I'm not saying that these friends are better or these friends are worse, but you have to have your go-tos. You have to be able to release just like people are able to release to you. Before we go any further, I want to finish up with Cheslie Kryst, and then we'll finish our topic. But Cheslie Corinne Kryst was an American television correspondent, model, and beauty pageant title holder who was crowned Miss USA in 2019. As Miss USA, she represented the United States at the Miss Universe 2019 competition and finished in the top 10. Kryst was a licensed attorney prior to this, practicing complex civil litigation, and actually did a lot of pro bono stuff and worked deeply in the community and with the community. She was also the founder of the fashion blog White Collar Glam, and it was dedicated to helping women dress professionally in white collar jobs. Kryst's mother, one of the things that she said at the end, she released a statement saying that she believes her daughter had suffered from high functioning depression. And once again, this is the strong friend. This is the person that that keeps going, like that Energizer bunny. Like they just keep going and going and going and going and going until they're sitting in the corner crying their eyes out and nobody's around. You know what I mean? So I just believe that, like, with me being the strong friend, I've gone to a therapist before. I went through postpartum depression when I had my son. I was going to a therapist then. I'm ready to start going back to a therapist now. Because no, I don't always have that outlet. I don't have that person that I can just be like totally transparent with. I actually do have one girlfriend that I don't know what it is, but I do end up dumping on her a lot, and I don't always want to because I don't want to dump on people. But I remember one time I was in North Carolina. She's up here, and she called me, and I don't know if I was in tears when she called, or I started crying when she called, and we ended up on the phone for like an hour, and I was like sobbing. You know what I mean? Like totally sobbing. A lot of times when me and her do talk, I can be very transparent about what's going on, no matter what it is. Because she's just not, like, I guess she kind of sees like, Brooke, you're always the strong when you need somebody. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate her very much. And I love her just like she loves me, and I love her babies and all that stuff. But that is one of my really go-to people. I can't really say like that I talk to a lot of people like that. Like I will, but I still pull back, and I know it's not the best thing to do. I know it's not the best thing to do. I do the pile on. I do busy myself I will be busy from sun up to sundown just so I'm not sitting in the corner. So high functioning depression is very, very, very real. And it might look like success. It might look like somebody who has an obsessive compulsive behavior to growth or to fixing something or, to whatever. That behavior might be hiding something else. So, I mean, check in on your strong friends. And I mean, that a lot of people say that so much, but it needs to be more of a habit for everybody. Hey, how are you feeling today? Something as simple as how are you feeling today? Because a lot of times that strong friend might be feeling something, but they're putting it in the back of their mind because they don't want to feel that. They don't want to feel it. They don't want to deal with it. They feel like if they do feel or deal with it, it might slow them down for the day. So I just think that we have to check on our strong friends a little bit more. We have to ask a little bit more. We have to care a little bit more. One thing I can say when I was down south is those people in them stores, they cared. Those people you ran into in the streets, they cared. New York, New Jersey has this fly-by-night, hey, how you doing? When they don't really care how you doing. They don't really want you to answer how you doing. But those people down south, they just really have that welcoming, you know what I mean? And they really want to know how you're doing today. And they're waiting for you to give an answer. You know what I mean? And they probably, and make sure you have a blessed day. We hope it gets better. You know what I mean? But like, it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like that little ounce of somebody else caring about what's going on with you, it just helps, So I would say, it's something that we all have to do a little bit more. It's something that we all have to do a little bit more. And we all have to check on those friends a little bit more. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I love what you said about like asking people how they're doing. I was on a big campaign a few years back to really dig deep, and I think it caught people by surprise. So I would say, how are you? And they'd say, oh, I'm okay. Oh, I'm blessed. People love to say they're blessed. And I would say, well, can you elaborate on that? And I think it took a lot of people aback where they felt like, well, I really haven't thought about how I'm really doing, and or when you say good, that's the universally accepted response. So you say good, everybody moves on. Like, oh, good, so they good, and so I definitely started to pry a little bit more, and I found that it was hard even for me when other people caught on and started asking me, well, you say you're good, but what makes you say that you're good, or is there any area that you're not good in? I felt exposed. I felt like someone was peeking at my soul. I felt like I was just being interrogated a little bit, but those types of questions really opened up such powerful conversations to where people who would respond that they're good really are not good. Or maybe they are. It doesn't always mean something horrible is going on. But I'll never forget, I had an English teacher who, we had 12 floors in one of my schools, and I had an English teacher who'd come out on the 10th floor and say, hey, how are you doing? And then you turn to respond, your boy is on floor number 8, okay? Like he would say, hey, how you doing? And run run down the stairs. So I don't think he ever heard the answer to my question. This went on for like the whole school year, okay? But I think that's how we do life. Unfortunately, we're like, "Hey, how you doing?" We're so quick to pat ourselves on the back for asking, and sometimes we can forget that extra step of like really check in, really dig deep. Um, and I know countless people who've spoken to others who were good, and then a couple weeks later they were not, or even worse, they were not here anymore with that. And the one thing they say is, "I wish I would have taken 5 seconds, 5 minutes, to to just stop being so busy and sit with other people." So I love Cheslie's life and example, and I love how um, much of a shining light she was in our world. And I pray that her story and others like it really encourage us to check in with ourselves, to check in with others, seek the help that we need, and to not feel like, the goals that we have are more important than um, just being human and having those human moments with other people, where it might take a little bit longer. It might not necessarily fit in your schedule all the time, but it's worth it, in the end.
Yeah, it's very important. It's very, very important. And I think our call to action this week is it's going to be about what we're going to do to improve our mental health. And how you improve your mental health. The more you improve your mental health, is honestly, it's going to help you meet your goals. Period. Like there's no way around it. Um, so how are we going to improve our mental health? You want to go first, Imani?
Sure. I really like this question because I'm people. We're talking about people who just speed through life, and this can be an overlooked space. So I'm grateful for this conversation. Um, I've tried to implement a daily devotional that gives me notifications on the phone because I need reminders. Um, and I also find that self-care time, um, not just watching Netflix, but self-care time with my journal or taking a bath or just, again, establishing that pause. I call it breathing room. It's my favorite phrase to use. And I literally picture it as like you're running through life, but you need a space where you can just take deep breaths, and you're not wearing any other role besides the role of just like looking at yourself eye to eye. That's what I call taking breathing room, and I my goal is to implement that every day. So yes, I have an early schedule. I'm up at 4 and out of the house before the sun is up. But um, like we talked about today, me taking that time could be very revealing and very relaxing. Both are things that I need. So I'm looking forward to doing that. What about you?
Well, mine, I first want to talk about what I am doing and then what I do plan on doing. I am looking for another therapist right now.
Mhm.
So I do plan to start going back to therapy just because therapy is a release where you don't have to worry about what you're saying. Okay. You can say whatever to them. You can tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. 9 times out of 10, you may run into them in the store, if that, but 9 times out of 10, you're not. Um, so that's my goal this week will be to start reaching out to therapists because I have been intending to look for one for a long time. Since I've been back here, but I have not really like taking the steps to like really start searching for them, sitting down with one and finding one that I'm comfortable with. Now what I have been doing is I've been reading my books. So I have props today. Books matter. Books, whatever you put into your daily routine matters. Now, we talked about a financial planner, and I had a financial planner that I loved, and I didn't buy it this year, not because I didn't want it, but because that wasn't my focus this year. My focus this year was myself. I realized that coming out of the valley and getting myself together and like really focusing on the businesses the way I wanted to focus on, I was going to need some deeper things within myself. So 3 books I have in front of me. One is from our friend that Imani introduced me to, Living Expectantly. I reread this book. Ooh, you won't be able to see it. We're going to try. Living Expectantly by Cindy Smillian Johnson. I got this book a while ago, and this is actually the second time for me reading this book. So I am rereading this, and I'll actually be done in a day or 2. So I reread that. That was number 1. Number 2, my journal this year, and this is not a full year journal, but my journal this year is TD Jakes, A Woman That Prays. When a woman prays. I want to get my prayer life together. Okay. I used to be very strong in prayer. What I went through the last 4 years, people were praying for me and I was not praying for myself. Okay. So that is where my focus is, getting my prayer life together. This is my main gig at this point. Because I want to get my prayer life together. I want to get my mental together. I also want to release. So just praying, period, is a release as to what's on your mind, what's on your heart, what's on your soul. And then it's also talking to God, what we need to do anyway. So yes, some people like to talk to God, some people don't. It's whatever you want to do. But if that's not who you want to talk to, get a friend, get a therapist. And then the last one is a book that she actually gave me, this book in church while she was speaking right before I went to North Carolina. She had, I want to say she only had one to give away, and I was the lucky person. Now, when How to Pursue Your Purpose by Teresa Hairston, this book you can breeze through. You can be done with this book in a day or 2 if you want to. I went through the book, and then I really went through the book. And honestly, I'm on chapter, I'm going to start a new chapter actually tonight, which is The Power of Obedience. And it's chapter 5. It's only like 6 or 7 chapters in the book, but it has a workbook in here. And it's very structured to like work on yourself. So I breezed through the book, looked at what it was about years ago, and I'm talking like 5-6 years ago at this point. And then I decided to go through the book chapter by chapter, very intentionally. And I would go through it. And when I master that chapter, I'll pick the book back up. And then I will go through the next chapter. And when I master that chapter, I pick the book back up. Okay. This chapter that I just finished is courage. The next one is obedience. I had to get my courage together. I really did. Like going through the valley and going through everything that I went through, I really had to get it together. And it was crazy because when I picked this book up, that's where I was. I was finishing wisdom and I was starting courage. And I was like, crazy. This is exactly where I am. This is exactly what I needed. I needed to get my courage together. So I really love this book. It's 7 Power Principles. It's 7 chapters. But it is a very powerful book for making changes and pushing forward in life and dealing with things and praying and just igniting your power, your internal power. So that's what part of my mental health is, are my books. Also meditation. I've been talking about meditation. I've meditated before, but not like I am now. I can't explain to you how it feels. I just can't. I'm starting to get a little addicted to it because I like the way it feels. I like the way I feel when it's done. So my meditation, and then just taking some time out for me. Like, I have spa days at home. I try to do them once a week. It kind of dwindled down to once a month. I don't even know why, because I'm an empty nester. Like, I should really have a lot more time to have like a spa day, like pamper myself. You know what I mean? So, but I want to get back to that, and at least every other week, there's a full spa day in the house where I'm just treating myself. You know what I mean? Taking care of myself. And then one of the other things that I do want to do this week is I want to reach out to my child a little more. So I am definitely going to do that. And that will be the things that I want to do this week. Anything else you want to say before we go, Imani?
No, I want to try to play with my light and see if I can fix it because sun's going down. Like, I have a flashlight, but I didn't want to do it while you're talking. Trying to see if I can, or just turn on my light. What do you think? I mean, I think the flashlight's too much, so I want to just turn on the room light.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So we just want to tell everybody have a good night. Thank you for tuning in to Heaven Sent, and we wish you all, beautiful angels, a blessed and productive week. And just remember that you are heaven sent too. Have a good one.
Bye.
God got me, plant his seeds, let me breathe, cause I need him. Stay faithful, not hateful, I'm playful, cause he got me. He called me his angel, I'm flying to heaven. Just know that he sent me from heaven.